Hi guys, welcome back to episode 5 of
Welcome.
Plantsitting. So last week, oh no.
Last time
Last time we discussed, what did we talk about?
Valentine's Day, how to be more charming, and the main topic was how to get out of the grayness of old age. Like everything just seems so dull. And when, like, I don't remember when I was a 2-year-old, but I remember most parts, or definitely some parts of when I was 5, 6 years old. Like walking on the street and like just the rain and the trees and the Buchecker in Germany. I don't know. It's like from a certain tree, like things on the floor. You just saw the stuff and it was just so
It was
glowy.
fascinating.
Everything glowy. I felt so much, and it was so meaningful, just every moment. And how to get back to that feeling as an adult, that is that last podcast episode. I would say definitely worth checking out, because life quality is, I would say, for everyone the high. Like, what else do you want in life than life quality? And I would say there's really not more. Like, you can have that beautiful car or that dream vacation, but you don't know these things that we talked about in that podcast. You can have all these things and it's still as gray as it was before, even though now you might think, oh no, when I have that car, I'm going to feel good. That is the illusion of modern corporate sophistication. I don't even know the word sophistication. It just felt right to use it. Do you know what it means?
Like fancy, sophisticated.
Sophisticated?
Fancy,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, then it was not right used, yeah. Just delete it, yeah.
All right. Today's topic, though, is something interesting. Well, every topic is interesting, actually. But
You want to make it especially tasty for the viewers now.
Yes.
Why? Is
Because-
it something special to you? In
So-
which regards?
in regards that I haven't drank coffee in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 23 hours.
Yeah, which is actually,
56 minutes.
I mean, I made it kind of jokey, but 2 weeks is, I think, the hardest part. And after that, it just diminishes naturally, like the urge to drink it.
Yeah. It feels good. I feel really good right now. And it doesn't mean I won't drink coffee ever again, but for now, I just feel like I don't even need it. But this got me thinking. I had an addiction to coffee. And so, why do we develop these addictions? Is it a distraction? Or is it just something in the moment we're enjoying so much and we're so like into it that we should just do it? How do we distinguish the difference that if this is actually a distraction, this is something we should try and do, and then once it's done, like we will naturally go away from it? Like, how can we know? And let's talk about addictions.
Very good topic. Yeah. One mentions the word addiction. Things like pills or a syringe come into the minds of most people. But I think an addiction is something that just relieves suffering. Yeah. For me, definitely, like, I was addicted to training. If I couldn't train every day, once a day, I would just feel, like what is the word in English when one does not have the withdrawal symptoms? I would feel withdrawal
Would
symptoms.
you get angry?
Angry,
you be like,
uneasy,
"Ugh."
unease, couldn't sleep, was thinking about the gym all the time. So there's just these parts of our life where we are not so free in ourselves, like with older age, with more development of the self, with more practicing of what we said in the last podcast, get out of the mind, and just be without shame. With these negative strings get released, also the urge to stuff that relieves this pressure coming from these is not as strong. That's why a consumption of stuff that is not good for one, that one knows, but still one does, it is a sign of a high pressure coming.
Environment.
not just environment, but internal state.
Okay.
Yeah, like the shame and pressure one does on himself. So yeah, just things that come to one's mind is like on the bottom is like cutting yourself, putting something in your veins that makes you go like this, and after an hour you wake up and then you're still miserable. These kind of things in the normal eye, you see, you think like, why is someone doing this? It's just bad for that person. But for that person, the pressure, it's so harsh that even an hour of relief is just,
It's just what they need.
yeah. And like more like the level most people are in is like smoking a cigarette,
Eating sugar.
eating sugar, drinking coffee, going to the gym.
Speaking of that, that's why I drank coffee because I felt so much pressure at work and that I'm so stressed. And those cups of coffee, like every hour, gave me momentarily pressure off. Like it gave me like that calmness, even though coffee gives spikes your anxiety and everything, but it made me feel good, and that's why I drank it.
Yeah. So after like this analysis, one must now first know why is it like this, and this is the internal state, what to do about it on the long term and on the short term. So long term, I would definitely say the work on the internal state is the most important. That's what like people like that's what people say in the Bible, for example. They say, okay, at one point you just realize that you just want to go to heaven. There's nothing more important. All the wealth, all this. It's just if you look through it, a good internal state is what we all want, and some people think they get it by something like this or something like that. And people who have done all these things, I think that like or some obedient people, like if someone, but I think in this regard, even the most obedient people, after some time, they still come back in some ways, and they want to see the truth if it's really not the right thing. So everyone goes through certain things, and then one discovers actually the thing about internal self, cleaning up the self, and then when one first feels the relief, one is like, at least I was like then, oh wow, this is what I always wanted by all doing all this.
And it's priceless because if you are always dependent on outside influences, like a nice car, a nice home, a nice this, like life is all about change, and something might happen and you might lose all of that, and then your internal feeling changes with that. But if you're not dependent on the outside, then that is priceless. Like nobody can change that. Nothing can change that anymore.
Yeah. And to do that on the long term, first is one to remove all the stuff that is pulling in a negative way. All the chains needs to be removed. And the cool thing is, listen, this is important to me. This is because this is something I have personally experienced, that it goes hand in hand, that the chains I'm wearing, like my job I don't like, or the people I need to be with that I don't like, or the thing I need to do on the computer that I don't like, it's all connected to the stuff I distract myself from my pain. It's this cycle of I do the things that I hate to relieve the pain with other stuff that I can only buy if I do the stuff that I hate. And this thing keeps me trapped. And what I have discovered by working on the inner peace, one gets financially free because you just don't need anything. All these super expensive stuff. This is another thing that I have seen, like all the stuff that is basically just for coping distractions that you don't need when you're internally free. It's super expensive, like going to the club, buying drinks there, wearing the expensive clothing, the car, and etc. But the good stuff that you really need, it's all almost free. Water, delicious food, good people, energies, activities, a beach, if you're living in a forest,
Meditation.
animals, these things, they get more if one is free from all these hurtful stuff that is pulling. These things get so attractive, and therefore an important aspect I wanted to say, if one just wants to reduce the chains, like the bad job, etc. One can just start by freeing oneself, and that is now the question that everyone's asking. Okay, I just can't quit my job now. How can I free myself? And freeing yourself is a part of, first you need to have these like you need to sometimes have air to breathe. If you're just stressed from your job all the time and you're working 24/7, it's gonna go down and down, and then you need more of something, or you're just gonna get worse and worse. So a distraction is what everyone needs, at certain distractions at some level of the self. But choosing the distraction carefully can be very, very beneficial.
Can you explain that or?
Of course, yeah. If I choose that my distractions shall be cigarettes and alcohol, I'm probably a little bit worse off than if I choose my distraction, the sauna, ice bath, and the gym. It is both serving the same thing. I want to just get relief from all the stuff that is internally pressuring me. But the method is firstly something that develops myself as a person. I learn stuff from it. I connect with people from it. So that if one, like we can't name all the stuff and say it's good or bad. But I think the criteria, am I bonding with people through that activity? With what kind of people am I bonding? And what kind of fun is it really? Is it something that just everyone has in their own head, or is it something you do together?
And that question you said, like, am I better off with it or without it? Like, if you're drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes, even your bank account is not better off with it. Like smoking packs of cigarettes and buying alcohol is expensive, right?
Yeah, but now I need to say, like bodybuilding, putting on like 50 kilograms of unnatural muscle. It's super expensive. You
Okay.
eat steak every day, salmon every day, so much meat, then you have all this other stuff. And yeah, so it's expensive. You're doing it alone. What is the difference between, for example, just going to the park and drinking beer? That I really need to ask myself. I would say a criteria also is, what can I do with the knowledge when I no longer need the distraction?
Okay.
For example, the bodybuilding, what has it given me? It has given me a very detailed, I see through like nutrients, I can read labels. And now I have a different goal. I just want to be as healthy as possible. I want to have as much well-being as possible and make my body just a vessel of high frequency, so I can receive also good thoughts and
Yeah.
be loving. And without the knowledge from bodybuilding, it would be definitely much, much harder for me to reach that. And therefore, it can be very, it can be categorized. For example, drinking beer at the park. Maybe if one does it and you can see, okay, I'm gaining social competence from it. I'm learning how to deal with people. I'm doing a lot of stuff, or like maybe I'm selling. I'm buying these beer things at a quantity, and I'm selling it to other people there that just are also there. Like I'm making business experiences. So if one just is truthful and just looks like what experiences am I making and how valuable they could be for my other stuff that I want to have, like or that could come up. In general, how much knowledge am I gaining doing it? If I drink beer with the same people at the same place, talk the same just stuff about other people,
Or about work or how shitty life is.
how shitty it is, like then one could say it is not a good thing. Yeah.
But if you're actually bonding, like having deep talks, maybe then it doesn't really matter what you're doing. Like it's the experiences that are shaping you and the knowledge that you're gaining from their experiences, from your experiences. And out of that, maybe you will all like get out of it, like get out of that distraction eventually.
Yeah, I would say it's also an aspect. What social status can I gain from it? Drinking beer in the park, like the group of people that you have a high status as this person is a very minor group of people. Let me explain it
Okay.
further before you wanna tell me that you don't get it. But if I like, for example, I do bodybuilding and I have a 50 centimeters arm, not everyone, definitely not everyone, but the percentage of people that see me as someone that can do stuff,
You're more
definitely high.
respected.
Respect, status, yeah. Or if I'm a high achiever, I earn money. At least I'm distracting myself with something that relieves suffering, because I can not only distract myself from the suffering, but also I gain some positive energy from outwards. Be it so on based on superficial stuff, on it doesn't matter. You just want in the first term, you just like the want just want air to breathe. You just want air to breathe, to just have this room where we can then look into the stuff, what cause it internally, all this pressure, because the outside world is a reflection of the inside world, and if I'm solving stuff on the inside, the outside will change on its own. And do you have something to add about the distraction aspect? I think you didn't agree totally with the status thing.
Yeah, at first I didn't agree because I was just like, should we really care what other people are judging us? Like, if we're having a good time and we're bonding. But then I think even you quoted this to me one time from somebody, that a businessman, whenever he's looking at business partners, he never does business with people who are not taking care of themselves physically. Like, if you can physically see that they are smoking all the time, they don't exercise, they're out of breath. Like, to that businessman, it was like, if this is their, like, internally, they can't, not internally, if they can't even take care of themselves, how are they going to take care of a business? So it makes sense when you said, like, someone who's doing sports, looks good, is fit, is regarded with higher respect than someone in the park just drinking a beer. Is that what you meant?
It comes down to that aspect of, am I developing skills that are useful to me in the future? And what I have not mentioned about bodybuilding is the skill of discipline.
Yeah.
It's all about discipline. And like, for example, if I diet, I feel hungry, I don't eat. So very disciplined thing. And what I said with the businessman, it doesn't need, like, for me at least, I think I just said what I have discovered, or how I would assess if it's a good partner. I wouldn't care personally, is this person successful or not. But since we all know that we all have our urges sometimes, like,
Yeah.
or the urge to take. So the urge to take, the urge to be untruthful, these sins, or like negative aspect of the self, the ego. And one can also, of course, like, you see this person is so free of the ego, he doesn't have this. Okay, very rarely one sees it, and also this oneself is sees itself. But then a little bit below, there's people with principles, and then what is needed to be in alignment with these principles is the discipline. So if you see a person who's definitely not free of sin, like we all not are, and then you see this person has no discipline, this person is gonna probably at one point be untruthful to the own good principles that
Yeah.
this person wants to hold. Most people want to be good, and
But
it's
sometimes we slip up if we don't have the discipline.
exactly. So I would even say it's a core principle that one could look out for. Am I doing something to distract myself that practices discipline? Is it something that puts me in a position where I want to do something, I cannot do it? Am I having enough fun doing the distraction than doing something else that I want to do? Yeah. So that is, we talked a lot about it now, but it's a very vital point, the selection of the distractions. And now, yeah, how to get free of it. We talked about the external things, that they disappear by doing the inner work. and also doing the actually making the progress, because you are free from all the stuff that you need, and then you don't need to do things that put you into that state. So let's just go through an addiction very, very precisely. Let's say, because I'll just make an example of myself. I was addicted to watching porn. Not like I needed to do it every day, 5 times a day. But when I didn't do it for like 2 or 3 days, things just popped up. Yeah, just wanted to do it. And how can one just go very smoothly out of this? Clearly, that one is one aware. At one point, it starts with unawareness, and then after a certain point, you want to get rid of it. You're aware that it is a distraction, not suitable for you
That's,
right
I
now.
think, a very important step is becoming aware of it. Like sometimes when you can have an addiction, like for example, when I used to eat a lot of sugar, I didn't even want to admit that it's a problem. I'm just like, no, it's fine. It's just, I enjoy it. I love it. That's why I'm doing it, not because it's an addiction. And because if I don't eat sugar for one day, suddenly I'm just like anxious, angry, and I need it.
Yeah. So we will break out this topic so clearly that everyone can get rid of any addiction. Let's just say I know I have my good distractions. Let's say I go to the gym, I go to the sauna and ice bath. I have my walks in the, is a walk in the wood even a distraction? Whatever. Like I have my good habits, but now I know I have this porn addiction and I wanna get rid of it, but I can't. I will give a step-to-step guide now, and I think it was the exact same thing I told you. Awareness. This is not good for me, but I still do it. Okay, I'm aware of that. Then comes the impulse to do it. Very consciously, I feel the urge to do it. And then an observation, what is happening right now, what is the external influences that put me into that state that I'm forced to do it right now. Can I change something? Maybe later it comes to reflection. Can I change something about the external state that created the impulse of me wanting to go into that activity? And then assessing, how do I feel now? Like right before you do it, I did it. Assess, how do I feel now? During it, being aware of what one is doing right now. Okay, I'm watching videos and I look like this in front of the camera or in front of the screen. Yeah. And right now in front of the camera. Oops. Yeah. How do what am I doing? Just being aware what one is doing, not being on autopilot, but being aware of what one is doing right now. And then afterwards, how am I feeling now? Did it have, was it beneficial? Was it good? Was it necessary? Just this thought pattern, step for step. And you don't need to push yourself or forbid yourself anything.
Or put shame on yourself.
Yeah. You just need to be conscious of when you do it. You can do everything all the time. You just be conscious about these steps that I just said, of when you do it. And if one has then also established things in replacement for that, other distractions, or you can also, just stopping smoking, it's way harder then every time you have the urge to smoke, you take a chewing gum, or you replace one addiction, one distraction with another one that is more suitable by the criteria we have mentioned already.
Yeah.
And that is how one gets rid of these uneasy habits. Okay. Let's lay out the blueprint so we don't forget any aspects. Everything that, what is the cause of a distraction, of an addiction? It is the internal state. This is the end goal. One needs to work on the internal state. Okay, we have one thing left, how to work on the internal state then also. Okay, assessing the distractions. What is suitable for me, by which criteria? Then, if one has established a certain set of distractions that I feel it relieves me, it makes me just feel good. This activity afterwards, or during it, or this activity in general, it just makes me feel good, whatever it is. Yeah. Then, and when one has assessed that it's positive, getting rid of the old habits. We said how it is done on the example there. It is with everything like this. And then comes now how to solve yourself in like what things can one do to not need distractions at all anymore.
Not even like healthy, just like going to gym every single day, you know?
Yeah, yeah. If that is healthy is even the other question. I was even thinking about it. Like I was deep in the scene and I thought like it's super good. It's probably depend on what you do there, but bodybuilding, I see it now. It's definitely stress on the body. It's definitely stress. So if one says it brings more good, like this is the argument one say, oh, at least I'm eating healthy or I'm having the discipline. Totally true. But if one wants to be completely free, it's always good to be aware also of the disadvantages of the good habits.
Yeah.
Good habits.
But I also think that once you get to a point where you have these good habits that you're slightly addicted to, like for example, bodybuilding every single day, or if I miss the gym one day, then suddenly I spiral. Maybe that's the point where we can start asking ourselves, but am I really enjoying this? Am I having fun? Is this bringing joy into my life? Like, I like being healthy, I like moving, but does that mean I only have to do bodybuilding? Maybe I can start to try different things like running, for example, or CrossFit, or rollerblading on the beach. Who knows? And maybe after that, when you try different things, you see, okay, wow, I actually super much enjoy running, and bodybuilding is just something that I thought that I had to do, but no, I can still be healthy, I can still feel good, and that's maybe somehow you can break out of that distraction or addiction.
That's a wonderful aspect you just mentioned. The first, the awareness. Am I doing it even out of real passion, or is it just what I think I need to do because of the people I know? Are there more possibilities? And also, what comes with these distractions, and I think going into these distractions as deep as possible is a good thing because it's meant to be. This is why we are here on this planet. Like this is our karma to go into the distractions we are going. But at some point, the distractions just get less and less interesting, and it leaves us in a state of, is it freedom or emptiness? I can't even tell you. Yeah, I can say just bodybuilding was not my thing anymore. And then I was like, I think it was more like emptiness. Yeah, I didn't know. I need more reflection on this to give an exact statement that is also true.
And did you feel maybe guilty that you were no longer into it anymore?
Definitely, yeah. I feel like, oh wow, I changed. This was so fun back then, yeah. And that aspect that comes with the work on the inner self. So first, yeah, it's good to go into these good distractions. The aspect of the work on the inner self is get some teachings, anything to feel good. I always thought back then philosophy is something not useful, not grippable for normal people. It's just some old man discussing very irrelevant stuff.
I thought the same about my philosophy courses in university.
Yeah, and what I love about philosophy, it can be everything. For me, it was Stoicism that really helped me. It's just so free from negative stigmas. Like religion has so much stigmas, assumptions. People have, people who are in these religions, but they don't seem happy or they urge you to do something that you see as total pointless. Yeah. It has these stigmas, and then there's like this barrier to these methods also mentioned in there. So grabbing something neutral to work on the inner state in the beginning is something very, very good. Yeah, something neutral would be Stoicism. The Daily Stoic, a book that has really helped me. Another neutral thing, reality transurfing.
Yeah.
Vadim
Zealand.
Zeeland, yeah, is the author. I can recommend, by the way, the audiobook on Audible. It's like with frequencies in the background. The voice is so good. Don't buy the whole book. It's so thick and you're gonna take years. Even the audiobook is like 30 hours or 60.
36
Yeah,
hours.
36 hours. But it's with these frequencies in the background. It's not just you absorb knowledge, but you really it's like a mantra. It's really going into. I was
You feel
listening
it.
to it in my sleep 5 times or 6 times already in
Oh my
total.
God. I don't know how you finished it so
Yeah.
many times.
So neutral stuff in the beginning, and when one feels drawn to a religion, not forcefully, not because of people, just feels drawn to a certain religion, to maybe just open the Bible, read a page, not get it, maybe ask a person how to understand it, and like just with these steps, or like Buddhism, try it out, a Buddhist practice, try the meditation out, all the stuff, just try things out, and then just go whatever interests you. I have found out that if something is not interesting, it is also not the right thing right now for me.
Yep.
Podcasts, find a person. How I discovered Ram Dass, one of my biggest teachers, was I was following a certain spiritual pages on Instagram that post like certain, yeah, just content, people speaking about certain stuff. And that's how also I found Bashar. Like, and then you see a person and he speaks something, and then you're like, oh, I like the vibe of that person, or what he said. Wow, I've never heard someone say this smart thing, and it really clicks to me. It makes myself clearer now. Just be like not just swiping them, but no, and taking it and taking that person consciously out and picking stuff from him. The longer, the better. Not just shorts or clips, but a podcast,
Yeah.
a YouTube video with the teachings, long stuff, absorbing it as much as the interest is there.
Yeah.
And if it's not no longer there, don't be attached to it and just
Let it go. So, so this is in the end, so that once you're out of your like once you're in your healthy addictions, you recommend philosophy, stoicism, a reality transferring, and all these methods to break out of the healthy addictions eventually. That is,
yeah, one may not realize it that these healthy addictions, like I've realized, like the gym was always a place. Like I was in this bubble that the gym every day it's something a hard worker should do, and so it's these good distractions that are meant to be like that, because you're getting also good feedback from the outside out of these people in that bubble. The fitness bubble is super big.
you look good or whatever.
And exactly, so it is not seen as a distraction. So if you think now, oh, they talking bullshit, it is like, this is not a distraction, this is a way of life, and this is good. Just take it, it's good. I don't say anything about it. I can just, like, I can assure you, just after you freed yourself from it, you will see that it was just a positive distraction, which is then totally fine if you don't see it right now. It's just normal. So, but using the clearing the self from internally up, and not through the outside, not through the things. This is the thing that in these regards, or in this situation, is a very essential thing to do. And these I mean, if people are natural trauma solvers, and then perfect, or healers of the self. But for me, at least, I needed definitely teachings. Also, a good indicator is always if you meet a person who seems to feel pretty good, then asking that person what he does.
What's his secret?
Yeah, usually it's not even a secret. People who feel good, they just want to make other people
Yeah,
feel good also. So it's becoming they just love also to, if that is one thing that I have learned in my whole thing, that asking a question is a person who feels good, or like who wants to help people, which is people, really successful people. A question is something people are very thankful for. If so, asking a question to a person is not something that needs to be held back or like, oh, am I worthy or this and that. If that person is angry for that question or is like not giving that knowledge out very
Openly or
openly
freely.
and also like happily, this person is not successful yet. Yeah, they may be good at making money or stuff. So, but sometimes like the real knowledge then should be regarding this topic from people who feel good. Like if you want to feel good, you take knowledge to feel good. If you would just want to make more money, of course, that is a thing that can be on the side done also. You can just ask people who have money. And regarding that, also a knowledge that someone told me here in Dubai when I was on holiday with Herman. Um, because shortly before that, I told him how I got scammed. There was like a media company, like
Oh.
they do agency. It's called an agency branding website, social media. They do all the stuff icons. They took in total over 20,000 euros. And what does has it brought me? A very bad website that I can right now I can make this website just with an AI in 5 or 10 minutes. Are not super very working branded. So I basically I told him like I think I paid super much. I cried my heart out. So I paid so much and I got nothing in return. Like, how can I not, could I not see it that it was not worth it? If I paid 2,000 euros, okay, a website of 3 or 5,000, but 25, 30,000. And then he said, the most important thing is when you ask for advice, you look not just what this person tells you, what he has, what he can do, how good he is, but you look how it actually is. So if I look at you, for example, and you seem not very happy, but you tell me, oh, I'm so good and my life's so beautiful and everything. And this is my advice to you. Am I trusting what you say or what you are, what I perceive? And then this is the important thing, perceiving. Or when someone makes a video on the beach with a Rolex and then, oh yeah, and this, like this person wants to tell you that he's rich, but is he actually rich? And until that is really clear, if it's just that person wants me to believe that is the thing, or that is actually the thing, until the thing is that is actually a thing, one should not invest a lot of energy in that person or even like
Yeah.
pay money, spend a lot of time listening to it, only if it feels good. But like, yeah, this should be done very carefully.
Yeah. Basically, just don't take advice from someone's life who doesn't seem like you want that, you know? So if, for example, it's coming even from advice from family and friends, and if they're giving you advice to do this, 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 and then you see their life isn't what you want, then no, don't take that advice.
Yeah, just because of its family, I would also say it's like a impregnated
Yeah.
belief.
Yeah, exactly. All right. That
That
is
was
all.
all. If you still have trouble finding out of your addiction, you can message me anytime. We can just talk. It costs nothing. Talk on Zoom, write a few messages back and forth if you have a question. I'm here to support you, and I'm away now.
See ya.